Hello and welcome to The Perspective. I'm your host Rafae, Iqbal, and in today's show we'll be talking about the SCO summit that is going to take place in Islamabad on the 15th and 16th of October, and of course with regards to that, the PTI's planned protest. If you talk about the SCO summit, it's a crucial event for Pakistan as it provides the country with an opportunity to enhance regional cooperation and of course strengthen its ties with all the member states of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. With regards to that, we know 12 heads of governments are going to be coming into Pakistan to attend this SCO summit. The Chinese and the Russian prime ministers are also going to be coming. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif highlighted how crucial it is for Pakistan to host this summit and how instrumental this summit is going to be in boosting national economy and of course increasing and improving Pakistan's stature in the Committee of Nations. The Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, he also supervised all the arrangements regarding that. We know that a foolproof security plan is in place. Section 144 has been imposed in Rawalpindi, Islamabad and other districts of Punjab. The Prime Minister, after supervising all the arrangements, he expressed satisfaction at the arrangements made for this summit. However, we know that one political party is hell-bent to sabotage this SCO summit, of course, and has given a call for protest on the dates coinciding with the SCO summit, that is the 15th of October. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, he criticized the PTI for the timing of this protest and of course he termed them as a chaos monger. This criticism was followed by criticism from the federal ministers, cabinet ministers, of course Khawaja and Iqbal, as they also termed this protest as an attempt to sabotage the SCO summit, which is a very crucial event for Pakistan to be hosting at this time. And of course, with regards to that, many other political leaders, they also condemned PTI's call for a protest, including the PPP leader Sharif Rahman and others from the Pakistan People's Party. And of course, the Jamiyat-e-Ulama-Islam Fazl as well, leaders of that party criticized PTI for its call for protest. And we also saw there was a dissent within the party with the PTI leader Ali Muhammad Khan expressing his opinion, his personal opinion, and he spoke against this decision of his party to hold a protest on the 15th of October when the SCO summit will be taking place in Islamabad, and there's going to be a lot of dignitaries that are participating in that summit. We'll be talking about the different aspects of this SCO summit and the planned protest by PTI. In the studios, of course, we've been joined by Daniyal Sheikh, who is a political analyst. Along with that, we have been joined by Dr. Waqas Ali Kausar, who is a foreign affairs expert. And on phone line, we have been joined by Shezra Mansab who's a member of the National Assembly from the PMLN. And of course, Dr. Sharmila Faruqi, who is also a member of the National Assembly and hails from the Pakistan People's Party. I'll start off our conversation from Mr. Daniyal Sheikh, of course, with regards to the SCO summit. We know it's a very important event that's going to be held, and the planned protest by the PTI that's coinciding with this SCO summit. Of course, there's dissent within the party. As I mentioned, Ali Muhammad Khan, he expressed his personal opinion and criticized his own party for the decision that they have made regarding these protests. How do you comment on the politics of agitation that PTI has been pursuing for a long time, and now that we're seeing there's dissent even within their own party regarding their decisions?
So basically, history is repeating itself. It's not something new. We have seen this whenever there's something happening in Pakistan which is in economic or interest of Pakistan. This party will definitely try its best to sabotage it. It's the same agenda that they've been working on and they've been patronizing people against the state institutions, and it's a continuation of their policy, and it's nothing new. And as they say that nature never changes, so it's their nature, and this is it couldn't be worse. Like a few days ago when the Malaysian Prime Minister was visiting, they attacked the capital. Now this time when the SCO summit is happening, so it's not difficult. It's not something that it's not something astonishing. It's their usual practice that they've been doing since their inception.
All right, we'll talk about the political aspect of that in detail, but I'd like to move towards Dr. Waqas with regards to the SCO and the importance that it holds. Of course, for Pakistan, it is going to affect Pakistan's economic front, as there's going to be a lot of dignitaries. We know there's going to be talks held with the leadership as well. It is going to affect regional cooperation as well in regards to Pakistan and all the members of the SCO. How important do you think this summit and this summit being hosted at this time in particular, when there's so many conflicts going on in the world, and of course there's the issue of terrorism as well in the region that is emanating from Afghanistan. How crucial and significant would you term this summit happening at this time, and secondly in Pakistan?
Thank you very much, first of all, for having me on your show. I guess this is very important in many ways. First, I mean, if you see the SCO members in this organization, it is 1/4 of the world's oil reserves, if you see, and 1/3 of the world's gas reservoirs, if that, and then the rare minerals and other resource. If you talk about that, that lies within the member states of this organization. So signifying a huge economic potential, of course. The other, if you see, I mean, it's population-wise, it's more than, I guess, 40% of the world's population lies within those countries, with around 15 to 20% of GDP. So this entirely, these statistics show that this is a very significant and quite, I must say, organization or this multilateral forum having huge potential to contribute in all those areas. Of course, for Pakistan, it has its own significance, Pakistan has been a very consistent, not only participant, but also has been a great contributor in this from since when it was observer, and then later it received the status of a member. I guess for Pakistan, it's very important for its own future politics, future economic potentials, and you know, particularly the relationship with Central Asian states, particularly when it comes to the regions and regional connectivity and cooperation. I guess there is a lot of potential, and it has a very huge significance. Even for that matter, now India's external minister is, if you see, is visiting Pakistan. I guess it's also a huge success in a way that it's sort of a departure from India's very position of non-engagement with Pakistan, which is encouraging, I guess, that given the nature of the circumstances we have. If you see, though it was the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's very basic idea was deeply rooted in security thing, but over the period of time, if you see, it has evolved on economic fronts. If you see the cooperation, and particularly talking about terrorism, separatism, and extremism as the core issues to deal. I guess not only Pakistan is facing these issues, but also Pakistan's own experience and you know, Pakistan's own potential to contribute in the regional peace is very important. I guess also it will open up new ways and avenues for Pakistan to collaborate and engage with its SCO countries. And also, I mean, Pakistan lying at the confluence of Asia, South Asia, and then for China particularly, and Arabian Sea, Pakistan can really exploit its potential for you know, regional connectivity, to offer that platform, and where Pakistan can play a better role for region stability and security as well. I guess many of the foreign ministers, or maybe the prime minister for that matter, this particularly the heads of governments meeting, if you see, they don't get much opportunities to interact. Of course, given the nature of the politics, there are conflicts, there are issues. If you see between the member states, of course, India, China, particularly Pakistan, India's rivalry over
I was going to come to that with regards to, as you also mentioned, that one of the main agendas of the SCO, it is regional connectivity, and of course connectivity with the Central Asian states, and of course in regards to that, we know President Xi's vision with the Belt and Road Initiative, CPEC being a flagship project of that. But when we talk about regional connectivity, there's the issue of security threat. Of course, when we talk about terrorism, there's Afghanistan. We know its soil is being used, and the international spoilers of peace, we know that there's enemies of Pakistan that do not like Pakistan to be successful. They have their nefarious designs with regards to the country. We know that those countries are also, they have their part in, of course, using the Afghan soil to create instability in the region, to promote their terrorism and militancy. But of course, do you think the SCO, because those countries are also members of the SCO, do you think that could be addressed with regards to this platform?
I guess, I mean, it's important to know that, to understand one thing, that the connectivity, cooperation and collaboration comes with the trust and the element of, you know, communication and trust building. It's very important that how you build the relationship between states and the societies. If you see the structure of this organization, we also come across that there are many areas of mutual cooperation, may it be education, may it be tourism, may it be technology, may it be other areas. I guess one of the ideas should be, and is there of course, that how these forums and areas of cooperation can bridge that gap of communication and help communities and governments to understand each other's perspective, because at the end of the day these conflicts may be within Afghanistan. If you see, when it comes to the Afghanistan situation, this is a very grave situation over there. It's directly posing threats to Pakistan's internal security as well. One of the core principles is of course of respecting territorial integrity and sovereignty of the countries. I guess if these forums are unable to address and you know, sort of create a mechanism where these conflicts could be mediated and solved, the broader idea of cooperation is very, you know, big challenge. And I guess that's the significance of such forums, where it helps people to come together.
Well,
and
of course, the SCO does prove to be a very important platform with regards to that, of course, the regional issues. But I'd like to include Dr. Sharmila Faruqi in the conversation as well and take her views with regards to that. I thank you first for being part of the conversation, but we know that there's the international spoilers of peace, and then there's the spoilers of peace within Pakistan that of course do not want the SCO summit to happen, do not want all the member states to talk on the regional issues. How do you comment on that certain political party, those spoilers of peace, with regards to them trying to sabotage this SCO summit?
Well, thank you, Rafae. You know, it's very important that the upcoming SCO summit meeting in Pakistan goes very well. And I think it gives a huge opportunity to Pakistan, you know, where Pakistan could represent itself. It's just more than an opportunity for dialogue. It could be a defining moment and a chance for Pakistan to redefine the organization's role in the current geopolitical climate. There would be different heads of government, and this is going to be a platform not only for discussing key issues, but it's equally important for the member states to come together in a spirit of cooperation and mutual benefit. Now, you know, for Pakistan, this means fostering an environment where open dialogue and collaboration can flourish, and allowing member states to address pressing issues such as terrorism, trade barriers, and environmental sustainability. Now, unfortunately, what is happening here is that certain political party is bent upon sabotaging this entire event. Now, this is a milestone for Pakistan, you know, where it offers Pakistan an unparalleled opportunity to showcase its commitment to regional cooperation and to enhance its global image. Now, given PTI's recent actions, you know, it's very disconcerting that their disregard for national interests and in favor of this political maneuvering threatens to actually derail Pakistan's progress on the world stage. It's very unfortunate. I mean, I was reading Sheikh Waqas Akram's tweet on the social media, which said that the party's political committee has scheduled a massive protest at Islamabad's beach walk on October 15, the very day the foreign dignitaries will be arriving for the SCO summit. And the organization leaders from their party have been instructed to mobilize extensively for this demonstration. And this is unfortunate. Now, given PTI's history, we've seen them, you know, agitating all along, whether it was, you know, the Chinese president's visit in 2014 or the British Prime Minister's visit in 2016, and then recently the Malaysian Prime Minister's visit, and now the SCO. So they have their own agenda, their own interest above national interest. Now, no political party which actually works for the country or for the people would ever do this. But unfortunately, there's nothing better that we can expect from them. They are bent upon sabotaging this very, very important event which is taking place in Pakistan. You know, now this event is important in so many ways. Firstly, the Chinese Prime Minister is coming, the Russian Prime Minister is going to be there. And then one particularly noteworthy aspect is, you know, that the Indian External Affairs Minister, Jay Shankar, is set to attend this event. And this is, the first of its kind visit by any Indian External Affairs Minister in Pakistan in almost 9 years.
Yes.
So now, and before that, they have been asking the Indian External Minister to come and address their sit-in. Now, what are they trying to achieve by this? Are they trying to sabotage Pakistan's global image, that Pakistan cannot hold a peace summit, Pakistan cannot talk on regional stability, regional cooperation, or what do they expect? That these heads of states would come here and they would talk about the release of Kelly number 804. It is very, very unfortunate. You know, politics aside, we've all had leaders who have been incarcerated. We've all gone through this, difficult time. Every political party, whether it's People's Party or PMLN, but we have never compromised on national interest. We have fought our cases in the courts, we have fought our cases on the streets, but we have never ever sabotaged Pakistan's national interest. Now, unfortunately, this needs to be dealt with a very severe hand. And I hope the government has a very a forceful plan intact, because as far as PTI is concerned, you can expect anything from them, and they will leave no stone unturned to actually sabotage this event. A party which could write a letter to the IMF saying that the IMF should not be giving a loan to Pakistan, so that, I mean, in fact, they wanted Pakistan to go into default. A political party which is, and I was just reading this tweet recently by one of the, some women leader of the party, and she was, the tweet was so unfortunate. I mean, it said, please send email to the following address at Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Tell them how Pakistanis are feeling about the political persecution of their national hero and how his life is in danger. Now, look, they're leaving no stone unturned to make it so controversial, and actually derailing
Dr.
the
Sharmila, of
entire
course,
event.
it's of course we know that they're hell bent on their agenda. We know that they will come up with anything, of course, when they want to carry out their nefarious designs. I'd also like to include comments from Shezra Mansab with regards to how the conversation has shaped up so far. We know, and it is also a testament to what the PTI's policies have been. Of course, they have this pattern of trying to sabotage every event of national interest, whether it be back in 2014, whether it be the IMF deal, whether it be now the SCO summit in the country. How do you think the government can tackle these designs of the PTI? Of course, when we talk about them having these patterns, and of course, we know that there's Pakistan's enemies, they're also spoilers of peace in the region. And of course, there's the internal spoilers of peace within Pakistan. How do you think the government should deal with them? Because it is high time to put an end to this with regards to so many efforts being put in for economic revitalization, and of course, so much going on Pakistan's diplomatic front.
Thank you very much. As we've been discussing on your program, there's no gainsaying the significance of the SCO summit that's going to be held in Pakistan. The SCO is becoming a very important organization with each passing year, as the balance of power shifts from the west to the south, west to the east, and the global south is becoming extremely important, and so are all these forums, which are addressing extremely important issues of regional security, combating terrorism, and economic cooperation, and all of these things. So at this time, I think the SCO becomes even more significant in two ways. One is because it's being held in Pakistan, and Pakistan in 2022 was suffering from isolation, political isolation. All our friendly countries, as well as the West, was not on very good terms with us because of certain policies that had been carried on by PTI and the government at that time. You know, that CPEC had been sabotaged. China was not happy with us. Turkey, Malaysia, all these countries were not very happy with us, and we were in a state of isolation. After that, to come to this point where we are actually going to host such an important event in Pakistan should be a matter of pride for all of us, as well as a matter of seeing how we can make strategic efforts to have economic collaboration on issues of climate, environmental, changes, as well as, most importantly, regional security. And on the other, aspect of this is that the conflicts that are going on at this time in the region will also be addressed. And it will be extremely important to chalk out how the countries which are members of this SCO can play their part in trying to bring these conflicts to some kind of a place where the wars and all this humanitarian issue can be addressed. So at this point, for one party to say that they're going to come to the center of where everything is going to happen, and they're going to, and with the history that they have, what happened on 9th May, and repeatedly with the way that their leadership has been behaving, with the way that they've been, saying that they're going to come and get their leader out of jail, they're going to come and they've placed the chief minister of KP has time and again been in direct conflict with the federal government. He's been directly challenging the federal government that he's going to come and he's going to, attack the federation. He's been also in direct conflict with one of the other provinces. So with all of this in context, certainly they will not be allowed to come and sabotage such a significant and crucial summit that is being held in Pakistan. The government is very clear about that. The government is not going to allow them to repeat what they did in 2014 when the Chinese president was coming and the CPEC was going to be launched, but that had to be delayed for a whole year because they did their dharna at that time. After that, it's been an ongoing thing. We've seen time and again that they have again and again worked against the interests of the country. They've been lobbying in the United States. There's been resolutions passed, and they've been very happy with those resolutions, which have been which are the result of their lobbying. They've gone to the UK, they've gone to other countries to try and just to give this message to the wider world that there's something wrong in Pakistan, there's something wrong with Pakistan.
Definitely.
And I think very clearly that this is a blackmailing tactic that they're using, and their politics of disruption and chaos and destabilization of Pakistan have now reached a limit, because it's one thing to do it within your own country and within your own party, but it's quite another thing to try and sabotage an international conference of such significance. And it makes it quite clear why we've been having these, we need to see this in the context of why newspapers like the Israel Times and the Jerusalem Post have been saying that Imran Khan is the person who will come, and if he comes to power, Israel will be recognized as, recognized by Pakistan. And why have all these things been happening? Why did Imran Khan tweet in favor of Zach Goldsmith against Sadiq Khan, who's a Muslim? Why did Imran Khan go and actually take part in the election of mayor of Zach Goldsmith? So we've been trying not to bring all of this into this mix, but unfortunately, what the PTI has decided now makes it impossible for everybody, for the country, for the people of the country, not to start thinking on those lines, not to start thinking of why this one party is time and again trying to undermine Pakistan and the progress of Pakistan and Pakistan's standing in the world.
Definitely. Of course, if with the permission of our guests in the studios, I'd like comments from Dr. Sharmila Faruqi with regards to how we know that earlier in the day, the Defence Minister Khawaja, he talked about the courts taking cognizance of the PTI's actions and its politics of hatred. In regards to that, we know the Traders Welfare Association's president, he also challenged PTI's protest calls in the Islamabad High Court. Do you think the government, it is high time for the government and of course the courts to take cognizance of these protest calls and of course the violence that spreads as a result of those?
Well, I think that I'm someone who believes in the parliamentary supremacy, and I do not believe that everything should be taken to the doorstep of the court. Now, this is what has been happening in the past and in the present, and all political cases and constitutional cases have been burdening the higher judiciary, and as a result, the public and their important litigations with regard to civil and criminal cases have been suffering immensely. And that is the reason that we want to bring about judicial reforms and a federal constitutional court, which can be a dedicated court which would deal with all these things. But all said and done, I think it's very, very important, as I said earlier, that the present government has a foolproof plan in hand to prevent the PTI from trying to sabotage this very important summit. See, Pakistan hosting this very significant event in the international diplomatic arena is something which Pakistan needs at this point in time. As Dr. Shezra just mentioned, that there was a time just recently during the PTI's time in government that Pakistan went into complete isolation, and that was because of their faulty foreign policy. And when the PDM government came in power and Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, as Pakistan's youngest foreign minister, took charge, he made marathon visits, and with his leadership skills and his diplomatic skills, he managed to bring Pakistan back on the world map. Now, this is something that we need to keep on working. Now, this is a platform which gives Pakistan an opportunity to redefine its position in the complex geopolitical landscape, as I said earlier. These SCO member states, collectively account for 40% of the global population and around 32% of the world's GDP. So offering its members a critical chance to play a very significant role in shaping the future direction of the world. And here is a chance where Pakistan is the host country. So the objectives of the SCO, they extend just beyond mere economic collaboration. It addresses security concerns. They want to enhance regional stability, foster cultural linkages, and it's a multifaceted approach. And I feel over the years the SCO has expanded its scope. And when Pakistan and India joined in 2017 and Iran in 2023, this has become a very, very important platform. And
yes, definitely, as you've in a very articulate manner highlighted how significant this platform is for Pakistan, for all the member states.
Pakistan at the moment can position itself as a very vital connector in the region by facilitating dialogue around economic cooperation, and it is very important that this summit sails through very well, because here is a chance for Pakistan to resurrect its global image. And then there is a so-called political party. I don't even want to call it a political party actually, because political parties work for the people of the country. They
That's
work
a very
in
important point that you raised, Dr. Sharmila. I'd like comments from Shezra Mansab with regards to that. From, of course, American intervention up till now, inviting the Indian External Affairs Minister, of course that undermines Pakistan's sovereignty, and they're inviting them themselves. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, he earlier offered an olive branch to one of the opposition members, Umar Ayub. But of course, we saw the PTI's attitude, it didn't change after that. What measures do you think the government should now take? Of course, we've seen that PTI, it doesn't have any change of its attitude. What options do you think the government has at the moment to deal with this group? Of course, as Dr. Sharmila mentioned, she doesn't even want to call it a political party.
Yes, I agree with what Dr. Sharmila just said. And the thing is that considering that we, the government, and we feel that it's our responsibility to try and solve matters and take matters in a way that, are usually done in democratic governments. But the thing is that despite the fact that we've been offering them, not now, but again and again, we've been offering since we came into the government, even before in the PDM government, both the People's Party and the PMLN offered PTI to come to the talking table to see and try and see how we can resolve any issues that they might have. But each time, the PTI, a so-called leader, has refused to talk with all the political parties, and he has said that the only people that he wants to talk to will be the establishment. And now, at this point also, we specially invited them to come and take part in the SCO summit, since they are part of the parliament, since they are the opposition, and the opposition is extremely important in any democracy. But they have refused, and not only have they refused,
well, of course, for a party that didn't even participate in the all parties conference, of course, that was held for Palestine. We know that PTI, of course, when it comes to its politics and political policies, it has gone beyond that of anti-state and anti-nationalism. Of course, with that, we know the recent all parties conference that was held with regards to the Palestinian issue and to show solidarity with our Palestinian brethren. The PTI didn't even take part in that. Of course, we're running short on time. Shezra Mansab and Dr. Sharmila Faruqi, I'd like to thank you both for your time and being part of the conversation. Coming back to the studios, Daniyal Sheikh, of course, how the conversation has shaped up so far. Of course, we know that it is not a hidden fact that what PTI's politics of agitation has been doing for the country, and of course, it's proven very harmful with regards to what we've seen, whether it be the IMF deal, whether it be any foreign delegation coming into the country, or whether it be Pakistan hosting a very significant event. How do you think the government should deal with the PTI at this moment, considering it's a pattern, as you also mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, and of course the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is also he's also offered an olive branch to the opposition, but we saw no change of heart from that side.
As far as their conduct is concerned, they should be dealt the way the government deals with the other banned outfits, because their agenda or whatever they are working on now, it's very, very obvious. It's not grey anymore. It's just black and white. So I don't think that they deserve any olive branches, and I think that they should be dealt in a more stricter way, and they need to be taught a lesson. They need to respect the writ of the government, because see, it's gone beyond challenging the government. Now they're challenging the state, and they're challenging state institutions, and they're challenging state interest. So I think they should be tried for treason. This definitely calls for the Article 6, somebody who's trying to sabotage the country's development. So there's and now the good thing, and as far as the political front is concerned, now they're exposed. Now the people understand that they're working on an agenda. Before they were able to. It was because they were so well masked, so a lot of people, and they would play to the galleries, and they were cashing on the popular sentiment. But now it's very much clear, anyone with a very little political acumen can tell you that they're definitely working on an agenda, and the agenda is to sabotage Pakistan.
Definitely. With regards to that, Dr. Waqas, I'd also like your views. Of course, it's going to be a non-political question as you're a foreign affairs expert, but I'd like your comments on President Xi's vision. Of course, when we talk about the SCO, its main agenda, regional connectivity, and in times when we see so many heightened tensions going on in the world, of course, this vision itself is very innovative. It's a replica of the ancient Silk routes. Of course, it's innovation in the economic sphere, but innovation in the global diplomatic sphere as well, a message of friendliness in these modern times. What would you comment on President Xi's vision for the Belt and Road Initiative, for CPEC and regional connectivity at large?
See, if you see the initiatives taken under this SCO, I mean, over the period of time, the countries evolved many initiatives, including, I mean, if you see, there was a TAPI gas project, excuse me, and then of course there were many other initiatives taken over there. CPEC would be of course the part of it, that how this regional connectivity particularly it can facilitate Pakistan's own development, but also can open the processes and platforms for the other countries to gel in and comment. And if you see regionally, I mean, Iran simultaneously tried to develop its own port, which is not more than 100 kilometers away from Gwadar, for that matter, if you see. I guess the idea of cooperation and collaboration is important in this context, because if the countries would go, of course every country would pursue its own economic and other interest, but there is a greater need that how these all platforms and areas of cooperation can come together, build a sort of sustainable economic cooperation model. That should be based on the fundamental principles of equality, of course, respect, and giving equal opportunities to the countries. So I guess this, if you see overall, of course, the countries, members of it have the divergence in their interest, of course, but there are many commonalities and shared interest, if particularly if you see, when it comes to a country like Pakistan, when their connectivity with Central Asian states, there's a lot of historical things and many other connectivities and linkages that can be explored, and of course they have the shared value system and shared history also in many ways. And likewise, countries like Iran, and for that matter, if you see India, Pakistan and China and other regional the countries, big economies, geographically very big, having a huge political and military might for that matter as well. I guess there is really need to rethink and reimagine also that how this could be further strengthened in the region, how you can build on certain commonalities and shared interests that we have. It should not be, and it's not something that is challenging some other cooperation or cooperative mechanism, but I guess it is and it must be complementing others, so that we can create larger economic, and of course social and other benefits to the population. Just importantly, I guess such forums have its own significance, of course, when heads of states are meeting, but there are many other platforms. And this also gives opportunities for the countries to engage in the sidelines meeting if they get the chance to meet each other, and could explore that. This time of 21st century right now, the challenges are, ever increasing and very complex. And no country has, I guess, a potential, even might be from global south or north or from wherever. It doesn't have that much capacity to deal things in isolation without the cooperation and support. That is very important.
Cooperation, not confrontation. That what comes up from the conversation. Of course, we were talking about the SCO summit that is going to be held on the 15th and 16th of October. And of course, with regards to that, it is going to be a very successful one. As the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said, as all the cabinet members have said, this SCO is going to be a huge success for Pakistan. And of course, with regards to that, it is going to prove as a disappointment to all those spoilers of peace who have tried to sabotage and are still continuing to try to sabotage this summit. Of course, with that, I'd like to thank Daniyal Sheikh, political analyst, and Dr. Waqas Ali Kausar, who is a foreign affairs expert. Thank you both for being part of the conversation. That wraps up the perspective for today. See you same time tomorrow. Till then, take care.